Dear friends, most of us have been told the same thing again and again. Once plaque builds up in your arteries, it is there forever. Doctors often describe arteries as if they are old plumbing pipes in a house, slowly clogging and hardening with age. The message is clear. Once those pipes are blocked, there is little that can be done. At best, you can slow the process with medication, maybe delay a heart attack, but reversal is impossible. This belief has shaped decades of medical advice, billions of prescriptions, and countless surgeries. But what if that picture is not entirely true? What if your arteries are not fixed, lifeless tubes, but instead living tissue, dynamic, adaptable, and capable of repairing itself? What if plaque is not a permanent cement clog, but a process, one that can be influenced, slowed, and in some cases even reversed? This is the radical new understanding emerging from decades of research in cardiology and nutrition. To understand this, you must think of arteries not as pipes, but as living highways lined with a thin, intelligent layer of cells called the endothelium. The endothelium is not passive. It senses blood flow, produces nitric oxide to regulate vessel relaxation, and communicates constantly with the immune system. It is alive, responsive, and remarkably capable of healing. And the exciting news is that its ability to heal is influenced every day by what you eat. Food is not simply calories or fuel. Food is information. Every bite sends chemical signals to your cells, either telling them to repair and strengthen or to inflame and damage. Research from the National Institutes of Health has shown that within hours of a single high-fat, high-sugar meal, markers of endothelial dysfunction increase, meaning the arteries temporarily stiffen and lose their ability to dilate properly. But the reverse is also true. A meal rich in leafy greens, berries, and legumes can boost nitric oxide, reduce oxidative stress, and improve blood flow within hours. This is not just theory. Clinical trials have demonstrated it. The landmark lifestyle heart trial led by Dr. Dean Ornish, published in the Lancet in 1990, found that patients with moderate to severe coronary artery disease who adopted a whole food, plant-based lifestyle saw actual regression of plaque within 1 year. Arteries that were narrowed began to open, blood flow improved, chest pain decreased, and many of these improvements occurred without stents, without bypass surgery, and without new medications. Similarly, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic followed patients with advanced coronary disease for more than a decade. Those who adhered to a strict plant-based diet experienced no further cardiac events, while those who did not change continued to worsen. These studies are not fringe experiments. They have been replicated and expanded. A 2014 meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Cardiology confirmed that diets rich in plant foods reduce LDL cholesterol, lower inflammation, and improve endothelial function, all of which are essential for preventing and reversing plaque. The science is becoming undeniable. So why is this not common knowledge? Why do most people still believe that plaque is permanent and food is powerless? Part of the reason is cultural. We live in a society where medications and procedures dominate the conversation, where the idea of a pill for every ill is easier to sell than the slower, steadier path of lifestyle change. Food does not generate profits like pharmaceuticals do, and so the message that food heals has been drowned out by louder voices. But you do not have to accept that narrative. You do not have to accept plaque as destiny. By making small, consistent changes on your plate, you can influence the biology of your arteries. You can calm inflammation, stabilize plaques, and in many cases begin to reverse damage. Imagine trading your morning pastry for a bowl of steel-cut oats topped with blueberries. Imagine replacing your greasy fries with roasted sweet potatoes. Imagine choosing a colorful salad with chickpeas and parsley instead of a fast food burger. These are not small changes. They are signals to your body, activating its built-in repair systems. In this program, we will uncover the truth step by step. We will see how plaque really forms, why inflammation is the true driver, which foods are proven to heal, and which habits quietly destroy. We will look at the cultures that live the longest and the lessons they teach us. Most importantly, we will see that healing is possible, not through miracle drugs or extreme diets, but through the consistent, powerful choices you make every day. Your arteries are not doomed. Your health is not fixed in stone. The story of your life is still being written, and it can be rewritten with every meal. To truly protect your arteries, my friends, we must first understand the process that creates plaque. For many years, people believed plaque was nothing more than cholesterol stacking up inside the vessel walls, much like grease building up in an old drain pipe. But modern science has revealed a much deeper truth. Plaque is not a static deposit. It is a living, dynamic, and inflamed lesion, shaped by your immune system, your diet, your blood pressure, and your daily habits. At the heart of this process is the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining the inner walls of your arteries. Far from being passive, this layer is like an active command center. It senses blood flow, releases nitric oxide to help vessels relax, and communicates with your immune system. But the endothelium is delicate. It is constantly exposed to stressors, high blood pressure pounding against it, high blood sugar coating and damaging it, LDL cholesterol particles pressing into it, and toxins from smoking or processed foods attacking it. When the endothelium is injured, the body responds just as it would to a wound on your skin. White blood cells rush to the site to begin repairs. They encounter oxidized LDL cholesterol particles that have slipped beneath the endothelial surface. These immune cells, called macrophages, swallow the cholesterol, but they cannot break it down. They swell and transform into foam cells. These foam cells accumulate, creating what are known as fatty streaks, the earliest visible sign of atherosclerosis. In an attempt to stabilize the injury, your body covers the fatty streak with scar tissue. A fibrous cap of collagen forms over the lesion. For a while, this cap can keep the plaque from breaking apart. But here lies the danger. If inflammation continues, fueled by poor diet, high blood pressure, or smoking, the cap remains thin and fragile. Eventually, it can rupture. When that happens, your blood rushes to clot the exposed area. The clot can block the artery completely, cutting off blood supply. In the heart, this means a heart attack. In the brain, a stroke. What makes this so concerning is that the process often happens silently. High blood pressure is called the silent killer because it injures arteries without causing pain. High blood sugar quietly glycates proteins, forming advanced glycation end products, AGEs, that stiffen and scar vessel walls. High LDL cholesterol, especially small dense particles, sneaks beneath the endothelium and oxidizes, triggering immune attacks. Together, these factors create an inflamed environment where plaque thrives. Scientific evidence backs this up. A study published in Circulation 2002 demonstrated that elevated levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation, were strongly associated with cardiovascular risk, even in people with normal cholesterol levels. This means inflammation is as important, if not more important, than cholesterol in driving plaque formation. Another long-term study, the Framingham Heart Study, showed that many individuals with normal LDL levels still developed heart disease, while those with lower inflammation markers fared much better. Even young people are not spared. Autopsies of soldiers killed in combat in their early 20s, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, revealed that many already had fatty streaks in their arteries. This shows the process begins early, long before symptoms appear. By middle age, silent plaques are already common, waiting for a trigger to cause an event. But here is the encouraging truth. Plaque is not fixed. It can be influenced. It can be slowed. It can be stabilized. And in many cases, it can be reversed. Studies by Dr. Dean Ornish, published in the Lancet in 1990, proved that patients with advanced coronary disease who switched to whole food, plant-based diets saw regression of plaque and improvement in blood flow within a single year. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's 12-year study at the Cleveland Clinic confirmed the same. Patients who adhered to this lifestyle had virtually no cardiac events. The key is addressing inflammation. Lowering cholesterol is not enough if the vessel walls remain inflamed. Blood pressure medications will not suffice if diet continues to injure the endothelium. True healing requires calming the immune response, reducing oxidative stress, and giving the endothelium the tools it needs to repair. And where do those tools come from? Not from a pill, but from food. Leafy greens, berries, legumes, nuts, and whole grains provide antioxidants, fiber, and plant compounds that reduce inflammation and boost nitric oxide. These foods protect the endothelium, strengthen the fibrous cap, and in many cases shrink plaque itself. So remember this: plaque is not a cement block in your arteries. It is an inflamed wound, constantly responding to what you eat, what you breathe, and how you live. And just as poor choices make it worse, wise choices can help it heal. Now that we understand how plaque forms and why inflammation drives the process, the natural question is, how can we stop it and even reverse it? The most powerful tool is not a pill, not a stent, and not surgery. The most powerful tool is food, whole, natural food that works with your body's healing systems instead of against them. Let us begin with the most important concept: nitric oxide. This is a gas produced by your endothelium, the inner lining of your arteries. Nitric oxide tells blood vessels to relax, stay elastic, and remain open. It is your body's natural vasodilator. Without it, arteries stiffen, pressure rises, and plaque becomes more dangerous. But here is the good news. Leafy greens are loaded with dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide. Arugula, kale, spinach, and bok choy can dramatically increase nitric oxide production. A 2015 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that one serving of spinach increased nitric oxide levels and improved arterial flexibility within just hours. Beets are another powerful source. Drinking beet juice has been shown to lower blood pressure and improve blood flow in patients with heart disease. Next are berries, nature's vascular superheroes. Blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries are rich in anthocyanins, pigments that protect the endothelium and improve circulation. A 2019 review in Advances in Nutrition concluded that berry consumption lowers blood pressure, reduces oxidative stress, and improves cholesterol profiles. One study found that women who ate 3 or more servings of blueberries and strawberries each week had a 34% lower risk of heart attacks compared to those who rarely ate them. These benefits happen because anthocyanins strengthen the arterial wall and reduce inflammation. Nuts and seeds are another healing food. Walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds deliver omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation and stabilize plaque. A 2010 study in Circulation found that eating walnuts improved endothelial function in people with high cholesterol after just 4 weeks. Flax seeds and chia seeds, rich in alpha-linolenic acid, have also been linked to lower blood pressure and improved insulin sensitivity. Just a handful of walnuts or a spoonful of ground flaxseed each day can make a measurable difference. Do not forget legumes, chickpeas, lentils, and beans. These foods provide prebiotic fiber that nourishes healthy gut bacteria. In turn, those bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, such as butyrate, that reduce systemic inflammation. A 2012 study in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that people who consumed legumes at least 4 times a week had a 22% lower risk of heart disease. Lentils are especially powerful because they combine low glycemic index carbohydrates with plant protein, making them excellent for stabilizing blood sugar and reducing insulin resistance. The humble sweet potato also deserves a place of honor. It is packed with fiber, potassium, and magnesium, all of which help regulate blood pressure. Sweet potatoes also contain carotenoids, antioxidants that protect the endothelium from oxidative stress. A 2018 study in Nutrients reported that higher carotenoid intake was associated with lower risk of cardiovascular disease. When roasted and seasoned with cinnamon, sweet potatoes not only taste delicious, but also help prevent post-meal blood sugar spikes. Cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, contain sulfur-based compounds like sulforaphane. These compounds activate detoxification pathways that help the body clear harmful molecules before they damage arteries. A large cohort study from the University of Western Australia found that older women who ate more cruciferous vegetables had significantly less calcium buildup in their arteries. Finally, whole grains such as oats, barley, and quinoa are rich in beta-glucan fiber. This soluble fiber binds cholesterol in the gut and lowers LDL levels. A 2020 meta-analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that oats reduce LDL cholesterol by 5 to 10% and improve overall cardiovascular health. When combined, these foods do more than just nourish. They heal. They reduce inflammation, lower cholesterol, stabilize plaques, and boost nitric oxide production. They provide antioxidants to neutralize free radicals, fiber to feed beneficial gut bacteria, and minerals to regulate blood pressure. Together, they transform your arteries from vulnerable and inflamed to resilient and flexible. And this is not theory. Clinical studies prove it. Patients who embraced diets centered on whole plant foods, rich in these very ingredients, saw actual regression of plaque. This is the essence of food as medicine. So remember, blueberries, walnuts, lentils, spinach, beets, sweet potatoes, broccoli, and oats are not just groceries. They are your body's pharmacy. They are the tools your arteries need to heal. Just as food can be the most powerful medicine for your arteries, it can also be the most destructive poison. Every day, the modern food environment tempts us with products designed not for nourishment, but for profit. They are engineered to taste irresistible, to trigger cravings, and to keep you coming back for more. Yet, behind their colorful packaging and clever marketing lies a hidden danger. They inflame your arteries, stiffen your vessels, and accelerate plaque buildup. Let us begin with ultra-processed foods. Chips, crackers, packaged pastries, sugary breakfast cereals, and fast food snacks are stripped of fiber and flooded with refined flour, sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats. These products activate the same reward pathways in your brain as addictive drugs. A 2019 study published in Cell Metabolism showed that people placed on ultra-processed diets consumed nearly 500 extra calories per day and gained weight, compared to those on unprocessed diets, even when the meals were matched for calories and nutrients. Ultra-processed foods are not just empty calories. They actively promote inflammation, leading to higher levels of C-reactive protein, a marker linked to heart disease risk. Next are saturated fats, found in butter, red meat, processed meats, cheese, and full-fat dairy. These fats increase LDL cholesterol, and, more importantly, they make LDL particles more prone to oxidation, the key trigger for plaque formation. Even so-called clean sources, such as coconut oil or grass-fed butter, can impair endothelial function. A 2018 review in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology concluded that replacing saturated fats with unsaturated plant fats reduces cardiovascular risk, while adding more saturated fat worsens outcomes. Added sugars are another hidden culprit. Sweetened drinks, desserts, and refined carbs flood your bloodstream with glucose, forcing your pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. Over time, this creates insulin resistance, high blood sugar, and oxidative stress that injures the endothelium. The Pure study, published in the Lancet in 2017, showed that diets high in refined carbohydrates significantly increase the risk of heart disease and early death. Even short-term sugar spikes can temporarily stiffen arteries and reduce nitric oxide production. Beyond diet, stress and hypertension silently damage your vessels. Chronic stress keeps your body in fight-or-flight mode, releasing cortisol and adrenaline that raise blood pressure and increase inflammation. High blood pressure, in turn, physically injures artery walls with every heartbeat. You may not feel it, but the damage accumulates year after year. A 2019 study in hypertension confirmed that lowering systolic blood pressure even by 5 millimeters of mercury can significantly reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. Tobacco smoke is another relentless offender. The chemicals in cigarette smoke oxidize LDL cholesterol, inflame the endothelium, and trigger clot formation. According to the World Health Organization, smokers are twice as likely to suffer a heart attack compared to non-smokers, and the risk decreases rapidly after quitting. Finally, let us address supplements versus real food. Many people believe they can outsmart nature by taking pills. Calcium supplements, for example, are often promoted for bone health. Yet multiple studies, including a 2016 meta-analysis in the Journal of the American Heart Association, found that calcium supplements increased vascular calcification and raised heart attack risk. In contrast, calcium from leafy greens, sesame seeds, or almonds is absorbed gradually, along with magnesium, potassium, and fiber that work in synergy to protect arteries. The lesson is clear. Whole food delivers nutrients in a natural matrix that pills cannot replicate. When you combine ultra-processed foods, saturated fats, added sugars, high stress, and sedentary habits, you create the perfect storm for plaque formation. This is why heart disease has become the leading cause of death worldwide, responsible for nearly 18 million deaths each year, according to the World Health Organization. But here is the hope. Just as unhealthy choices accumulate damage, healthy choices accumulate healing. By removing processed foods, limiting animal fats, cutting added sugars, managing stress, and keeping blood pressure in check, you relieve pressure on your arteries. And when you add healing foods, leafy greens, berries, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, you do more than stop the damage. You create an environment where your arteries can regenerate, where inflammation calms, and where plaques stabilize or even regress. Your arteries are not passive victims of age. They are living, healing tissue that responds to every meal and every lifestyle choice. Remove the triggers, and you give them the chance to heal. Dear friends, we have traveled together through a journey inside the hidden world of your arteries. We began by confronting a myth, the belief that once plaque forms, it is permanent. You now understand that this is not true. Arteries are not lifeless pipes. They are living tissue, lined with an intelligent layer of endothelial cells that can repair, regenerate, and even reverse damage. The choices we make each day, what we eat, how we live, and how we manage stress, decide whether those arteries become stiff and clogged or flexible and clear. We explored the science of plaque formation. We saw how high blood pressure, high blood sugar, oxidized LDL cholesterol, and smoking damage the endothelium. We learned how immune cells try to clean the mess but become trapped, turning into foam cells that form fatty streaks. We saw how inflammation drives the entire process, creating vulnerable plaques that can rupture, leading to heart attacks and strokes. And we recognized the sobering truth. This damage often begins early in life, silently progressing for decades before symptoms appear. But we also discovered the good news. Plaque is not destiny. Research has shown time and again that lifestyle can change the course of this disease. Dr. Dean Ornish's Lifestyle Heart Trial, published in the Lancet, proved that patients with advanced coronary artery disease who adopted plant-based nutrition, stress management, and regular activity experienced regression of plaque within just 1 year. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's 12-year follow-up at the Cleveland Clinic confirmed that patients who consistently followed a whole food, plant-based lifestyle had virtually no cardiac events. These are not isolated stories. They are scientific evidence that your choices can be more powerful than your prescriptions. We then turn to the foods that heal. Leafy greens like spinach, arugula, and kale boost nitric oxide, the molecule that keeps arteries open and elastic. Berries, bursting with anthocyanins, strengthen vessels and lower blood pressure. Walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds deliver omega-3 fatty acids that calm inflammation. Lentils and beans nourish your gut bacteria, producing compounds that protect your arteries from within. Sweet potatoes stabilize blood sugar and provide potassium and magnesium for blood pressure control. Whole grains lower LDL cholesterol and improve insulin sensitivity. And cruciferous vegetables, such as broccoli and Brussels sprouts, detoxify harmful compounds before they injure vessel walls. These are not bland foods to be tolerated. They are vibrant, delicious medicines crafted by nature. But healing is not only about what you add. It is also about what you avoid. Ultra-processed foods, loaded with sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats, are engineered to be addictive, but drive inflammation at every bite. Saturated fats from butter, meat, and dairy increase LDL oxidation and impair vessel function. Sugary drinks and desserts spike blood sugar and accelerate damage. Chronic stress silently raises blood pressure, injuring vessels day after day. And supplements cannot replace food. Calcium pills, for example, have been linked to higher calcification, while calcium from bok choy, tahini, and almonds is protective. The message is clear: remove the triggers and let real food do its work. The World Health Organization estimates that 80% of premature heart disease and strokes can be prevented through lifestyle changes. Imagine what this means: 4 out of 5 heart attacks, 4 out of 5 strokes, avoided, not through miracle cures, but through everyday choices. This is powerful. This is hope. And so, my friends, the conclusion is simple. Every bite you take is a decision. It is a message to your arteries. Will it be a message of healing or a message of harm? You cannot change your genetics, but you can change your plate. You can silence inflammation, stabilize plaques, and open your arteries again. You can choose health, vitality, and independence in the years ahead. If you found today's message helpful, I invite you to take action. Please give this video a like so more people can find it. Share it with your family and friends, because knowledge only becomes powerful when it is shared. And most importantly, subscribe to Nutigood HealthBook and turn on the notification bell. Each week, we bring you science-based lessons designed to help you age with strength, clarity, and confidence. Together, we are building a community of wisdom and vitality, one bite at a time. Your arteries are not doomed. Your health is not fixed in stone. With every meal, you hold the power to heal. And remember, the most powerful medicine is already on your plate.